Esperando para tu tiempo, mi amor para ti no soy un ejemplo. Y ahora tú me digas que tú sabes que yo soy para ti como la clave permanente. Esto es para tu mente, quiero ser tuyo por siempre. Y yo quiero que te sientas como yo me siento. Mira por ejemplo. Siempre voy a estar aquí a tu lado. Nunca me voy a cansar. Solamente yo te quiero enseñar qué tan caro es. Mírate qué tan caro es. Yo quiero mi morena, tan rico que se ve. Morena, mira cómo mueve así. Morena, mira cómo goza, goza. Morena, mira cómo toma, toma. Morena, tan rico que se ve. Morena, mira cómo mueve así. Morena, mira cómo goza, goza.
Ahora tú me dices que tú sabes. Te veo bailando, te veo gozando, te veo andando por la calle, mi morena. Yo sigo pensando, si yo sigo pensando, que yo te quiero en mi brazo, mi morena. Yo te quiero en mi brazo, mi morena. Morena,
Mira cómo mueve así.
morena,
Mira cómo goza, goza.
morena,
Mira cómo toma, toma. Morena, tan rico que se ve.
morena,
Mira cómo mueve así.
morena,
Mira cómo goza, goza.
morena,
Mira cómo toma, toma.
morena, qué suave, morena, ay que
What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, man? Nieces and nephews, kinfolks and cousins. Godfather's here in Miami. Welcome to Miami. Bienvenidos a Miami. Getting there, getting there, getting there. All right. So how was it doing? I didn't get a chance to go live. Well, I'm a little late today because I did a live on YouTube. And I want to have a conversation. And I really want to have a real conversation with the ladies, the lovely ladies. Okay. I have been hearing so much indirect communication about all of these podcasts and digital shows, in particular with black men, just popping up out of nowhere, belittling and humiliating and any other black women. And I'm hearing these women asking the serious question of, is this a new thing? What is it? And I'm like, why would you ask a question like that to the open Twitterverse or the open Instagram? My thinking is that if you really want to ask that question, ask somebody making the content. Ask me. I'll tell you where it comes from. But that's why I responded, is this a good faith question or is this just some sort of ego stroking, I want to get my 2 cents on? What it really seems to more men is just another way to control and dominate the conversation because you don't really want to have a real goddamn conversation. You want us just to shut up. It's not going to happen. Men, is it belittling or is it critique? Because whether we want to admit it or not, ladies, you have no problem critiquing men to the point of trolling. I don't want no scrubs and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, we don't have to go back that far. Women have often went to the public sphere to air their concerns out and issues. Well, guess what? Men are too. And they're not going to stop. As a matter of fact, it's only going to get more and more pronounced and louder because women are not listening. Now you have women who are hearing the noise, but you're using the same old tactics that you used to use. Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right, sign language. And men are not doing that because they grew up listening to this sign language. They grew up listening to you telling them that their opinion didn't matter, then turning around saying how much you love them. Do you love them, or do you only love men when they do what you say they want them to do? The kind of men that are going to have to get out to build in this world, to build and compete, are not weak men. And they have criticism, critiques, they have standards. I also got another thing. These men live in the real world because as men, we got to deal with the real world. We got to deal with the world on facts, figures, statistics, data, numbers, and we rank you. We rank you, and we're going to rank you. And that's all it is to it. We're going to rank you, and we're always going to rank you because that's what we do. And it is in your best interest to get over it. One of the problems is we don't have Miss America, beauty pageants, and all these things like we used to where women could actually rank themselves. So my question for you ladies is this. Women in general, black women in particular, don't allow men to rank you. Give us the ideal feminine standard. As an individual black woman, who is the one black woman you point to as the height of a feminine ideal for you? And allow us to use that. Don't forget what we got to say. Just say, you know what? But this is where it is. Where is it? Because here's the thing. When you name a woman, that's going to be the top. Just like you hear so many women today talking about, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 10. Then the follow-up question, so there's no room for improvement? Well, there's always room for improvement. Ladies, is it criticism or belittling? And if you don't like it, you have two options. Get better or go somewhere else. But it's not going to change. We are your men, and we get a say. We don't have to, we're going to tell you what we want. What fool goes to a restaurant and just says, bring me whatever you have? That's not how you pick men. Ladies, you pick men based upon a ranking. And if men don't meet your ranking, you'll put them in the friend zone, which is you'll keep them around for non-sexual time, attention, companionship, but he didn't rank high enough to get laid. So that's why I laugh when I hear all this stuff. Well, it's belittling and belittling. No, it's called balance. It's called balance, and the end goal is this: to get women back to a state of reality. The overwhelming majority of women want a more luxury lifestyle. High value man, whatever. You want a more luxury lifestyle than you can afford. Ask the average woman, would you be happy and content with a man who's earning average money and he's happy and content with himself? And she will say, yes, as long as he's ambitious, or yes, there's some kind of caveat. So, in other words, men today have to make a lot of money for women to be women of old. That ain't gonna work either. The notion that, well, women back in the day, women in other countries and men in other countries make more money. There's no such thing as conditional femininity, ladies. If anything is belittling, it's the sheer lack of true femininity in the average modern Western woman. If that's the belittling factor. The fact that what you're seeing is so many women who are in their masculine energy are in conflict with men. It's not going to do anything about it. So, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. One at a time. Is it belittling? Oh, no. No, no, no. If you've already been on here, you can't come. No, Pick Shirley. Yeah, just start saying big. All of a sudden they want 6 figures, and that's so many women are upset today that I'm telling men, if you're in the top 15% of earners, if you're making $75,000 or more, man, the world is yours. Women don't like that. It's like, what? The world is yours? Yeah, because women want men who are top earners. If you're in the top 15%, you are special, man. You are special, and you deserve to be treated special. And sadly, so many women today, we got to back into it, so I don't show y'all the rest of them. I'll show y'all all my stuff. But so many women today, you know how many men I know who have sat down and told me that I didn't even recognize that I was special. I didn't even recognize because all I do was work. And I'm like, yeah, man. Because that's what you're supposed to do. But because so many men don't recognize they're special because the women are not treating special men like they're special. And then now you start to see a differentiation. And when it comes down to it, women are going to have to just compete. So let's get to it. People, let's see, how many people have lost their channels this week? 6 people have lost their channels this week for using my content. I'm not playing with y'all. When I say don't use my content, I mean it. Don't use my permission. 6 channels in 2 days. Now, and they were all channels that were monetized. Don't play. Let's see.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah, lead the way. I follow. No need to say. Where we are heading now, babe, I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no better one, yeah, susceptible.
Yeah, guys, I've had people decide that they think they can just come to my platform and copy my content and do what they want to. I've got 2 people in federal court right now. So I'm letting you know, folks, I'm not playing with you. I think a lot of folks just think this is a game and they think that these videos are just what they want to. When you sign that YouTube form, you got your information out there. I'm not going to say anything. Keep playing. Keep playing if you want to. Now, if you want to use my content, request permission. And if I grant it, cool. If not, I'll keep taking y'all's money. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there. We're the only group of people that feel like that we can just, because Black people, we have just no chill. It's like, I see it, I'll use it. Nah, you can't have that.
Yeah. Lune. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios todo lo ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work, yeah. El mundo quiere dinero, yeah, yeah. Money work, se arregla con dinero, yeah. Money work, de corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Yeah, de corazón, yeah. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, 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 yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Lunático.
I got a question for all the black women. Okay? I want each one of you to give me your feminine ideal model. Who's the one solo feminine black woman that you aspire to? Marlene. Marlene.
Marlene. Feminine woman that I aspire to.
Belinda, you.
Nicole Murphy.
Missy, you. Missy.
I don't think I have one.
DK.
A blend of
There's no
Claire
blends.
Huxtable and Beyonce.
There's only one woman. Give me one woman.
Oh, Claire Huxtable. I feel like that.
She's a fictitious character. Grace. She's muted. Marlene.
Gabrielle Union.
None of those. None of those women are feminine. Gabrielle Union is the opposite.
Really?
Gabrielle Union is the opposite of a feminine woman. God's sake, she's do you
Nicole
not
Murphy?
look at what's going? Do you not? Nicole Murphy not either.
You don't think so?
I want you guys to understand the one thing I did not say a feminine woman had anything to do with looks.
Ah, gotcha.
I want you to understand that one woman said Beyonce, Claire Huxtable. Claire Huxtable was the original feminist. Claire Huxtable dominated Cliff Huxtable. Go back and watch the Cosby Show and look at how many times she told off Edwin. Every time he tried to have Sandra become more traditional, Claire had to let him know she was the original feminist. Cliff was a stay-at-home motherfucking husband, working in the basement while she was a co-get corporate attorney. And Cliff had one of the most beta jobs you could have, delivering babies. He was a fucking midwife. Nicole Murphy, beautiful, not feminine.
I would say Christina
She's a
Milian.
taller Jada Pinkett. You said Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union, deliver us some Eva. Gabrielle Union has made her bones playing a bitch. Feminine women aren't bitches.
Didn't she accept a baby and everything?
When I thought.
Hold on, did she accept the baby?
Yeah.
Hold on.
So
Accept
that's
the
on
baby.
me.
Hold on, stop. Missy, you were saying?
Gabrielle Union, she still stood with her husband after he cheated and had another baby.
Dwayne Wade?
Yeah, and she, still with him.
Yeah, and then look at what's going on with his son transitioning to a daughter, too. How many black men want fucking Gabrielle Union? Do you see how Dwayne Wade is walking around? Do you want to be married to him? How many black men say, I want to be like Dwayne Wade?
Not a lot.
Those are facts.
And I want you all to understand that I asked you for one thing, a model, and none of you even have a feminine model. You'd have been better off if you'd have said Diane Carroll, Dorothy Dandridge. But that's the problem. You don't have any feminine black women. The closest you have was a feminist, masked as Claire Huxtable, and she was a feminist. She ran that house.
Oh, can I ask about Beyonce?
Beyonce
I believe her to be feminist. Feminine, sorry.
No. All the single ladies. I want to soul. Excuse me. You're talking to an image consultant. Now, I will say that the way she lives her life, but her message is very empowering. If Beyonce's music matched her personal life, she wouldn't sell what she sold. And who are the main ones buying? I want a soldier. All the single ladies while she's running her ass on, but Beyonce made sure that she was the kind of woman that Jay-Z wanted. She waited on deck for Jay-Z to become who he was, and she got her part in. But then again, Jay-Z was still a rapper and a street dude.
Yeah, very true.
Femininity is not overly sexualized. So I need you guys, ladies, to understand, what feminine models do we even give black women to look for? Gabrielle Union. I'm going to tell you that there are going to be so many men that are going to be like, oh my God, that is the farthest thing away. There are guys that would rather die alone. Huh?
I feel she used to give off a lot more feminine.
Okay, something really messed up with your audio.
I'm sorry, hold on. I said I feel she used to be more feminine with her energy. I do feel like
when
before marrying Dwayne Wade. So
Deliver.
Like her,
I want you to go back to her filmography. Does Gabrielle Union play a feminine woman, or does she play a go-getter?
Well, it was less the character she played and more just her
Man,
persona.
where do you see her outside of her characters?
Well, when I would see like her doing interviews or her on social media, that's what I was referring to. But then when you were referring to
this is the same woman who just look. I want you to understand that. Think about it. I know Deliver Us from Eva and all this other shit. She plays a ball breaker. And she's a 40-year-old woman talking about she had a bucket list of dicks she wanted to do. This has been in the last year and a half. And I want you to understand, as black women, this is what's put before you as femininity, and you wonder why black men reject it.
What about Michelle Obama, Kevin?
Michelle Obama Michelle Obama had the look. But who do you think was running that marriage?
Probably her.
Have we ever had a first lady who stood side by side with the president?
No.
Not before her.
And after her, have we had one?
No.
No. So while she was the first black first lady, she rejected the first lady role. She's out here doing push-ups on mother flipping Ellen.
Okay.
Would Coretta Scott King have done that? Y'all could have told me Coretta Scott King. I'd have went with that. But that's how far back you gotta go. Get my likes up, damn it. Get my likes up. I'll stay dark. We'll shut this shit off. Get them up. We need over another 1,000 likes. Come on. Get my likes up, damn it.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Wait, I'm trying to find a light.
All right, you said I'm a thigh guy. I'm telling you, man.
Okay.
Bring back the leg men. Leg and like a nice butt. I don't like a huge comical ass, but enough to where, because you know we all like the end in doggy style. Because we black, man. That's just what we do. You know. Shout out to all my non-black brothers. Hey, that's the black man's thing. All sex ends in doggy style with us. I'm not kidding. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How old are you?
28.
28. Are there enough women for relationships today?
Yeah.
Really?
Enough women for relationships? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're okay. Do you have any children?
No.
Well, what city? Well, don't share that. Why would you say that there are enough women for relationships today when 65% of men say that they're not?
Depends on what they're looking for. Like, there's women out there, there's men out there, but it's like, where are they looking?
No.
What type of person?
They're looking for relationships. So the men are looking for relationships and or marriage. They're not looking to hook up. They're not looking for one night stand. They're looking for a woman. And 65% of men say that there are not enough. You as a woman say they are, and I'm asking you, why do you say that? And you said it depends
Now
on
that
where
you're
they're going.
down in that way, then no.
Huh?
Thinking looking for women like girls that they want to like have sex with, but relationship.
No, relationship, meaning if I said sex, if there are enough women for sex today, that's a different question.
There's a lot of women for sex.
Okay, but are there enough women for relationships?
I guess not.
Do you want to be married?
One day.
Do you want children? No, you don't.
If I'm married, I want children. But I don't want to be like a baby mama.
How many children would you like to have?
2.
Did you go to college?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in school.
You're in college right now?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to school for?
San Jose State for communications.
Okay, and at 28?
I know.
For communications?
Yeah.
What do you plan on doing with that, other than being broke?
I want to work in PR for sports.
So okay. Mm-hmm. PR for a major league team?
Yeah.
And how much you think you'll earn in PR?
I have no idea, honestly. I did my research, but it's different. It depends on like how many clients you have and what firm you work for.
But approximately how much, if you never get married, how much do you expect to make in a year over your career, at the peak of your career?
I haven't thought that far. At 28, I know it sounds bad, but
yeah, it does. So let's talk about it. At 28, you're getting college debt with a communications degree. You want to be in PR. That is a very small group of jobs.
Yeah, and there's not that many.
I know, and sorry, you likely won't get it because there are not that many. The chances of you getting a PR job for a sports team is small because they're already taken. And then what do you plan on doing? What can you do with a communications degree?
I want to do like sports management.
And make how much?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't have a
ballpark it. You got to give me a number.
I at least want to make 6 figures, but I know that's
6 figures. What state do you live in?
I live in Atlanta right now.
Okay. Welcome to reality. What percentage of women earn more than $75,000 a year?
I don't
Guess. Guess.
Like 23.
I just slapped you. Again. See, this is the problem. A 28-year-old woman who does not want marriage, who's going to school late.
I do want marriage.
No. Did it? All right. You were shaky on that when you came through. But at 28, you're in the danger zone.
Danger zone.
How many more years do you have before you graduate?
I graduate in December.
All right. So you'll be 28, 29. Man, if you don't get married, how do you plan on getting your $2.9 million or so that you'll need to retire on from 65 to 85? Because most people, most women earn less than $30,000 a year.
I could make more than that bartending at a club.
But you can't bartend until you're 65. Cute runs out. And what you're showing, and what I'm using to show is women today are allowed to go through life like it's not that serious. I'm asking you very basic questions. You're like, I know I should know. Yeah, you should know, because men have to know, because ain't nobody coming to save us. And the reality is this: if you don't get married, the likelihood of you making enough money to take care of yourself to retirement is negligible.
Facts.
I did an assignment on my show. If a woman made $50,000 from 25 to 65 over her career, and it just kept moving with the cost of inflation, and if she needed to retire at 65 and live to 85, she would need $2.9 million. Even if she saved $200 a month, which was a lot compared to what she would have after taxes and apartment and everything else here in Atlanta, she'd have a $700,000 shortfall, meaning you need a husband to get to the end of life unless you plan on being wealthy.
Yeah.
Unless you know you're going to make 125, 150, you need a man.
Like you said, it's not going to last.
No, it's not. I mean, we could play that game, but there's always a new model, right? And see, what I'm showing is 50, 70 years ago, you'd have been married with a child by now.
At 28.
Two kids probably. But another woman who is out of the mating and dating and relationship thing to go get no offense, but communications is a pointless degree to do a job that's a fanciful job, PR for a sports team. I'm just saying those are small amounts of jobs. And that is more appealing than being somebody's current wife right now and somebody's current mother. That's what's been marketed to you guys. And all I'm trying to do is bring light to that, say, well, all right, you need to understand, here are your options. The path you're on right now, there are a lot of women in Atlanta who are doing what you're doing, trying to start their own business, PR, consulting, but there's 17 to 1 black women for black men, and that's before you adjust for the high gay population. So what I'm saying is, every other group of women are married at a 54% rate or higher. Were you raised to think that you needed a man to get to the end of life?
Not that I need, but that I should have one.
Were your mother and father married?
No.
How many children does your mother have?
My mom has 4 kids.
About how many men?
2.
And what does she do for a living?
She's like a manager at like a water company.
Well, unless you know you're gonna be making 150.
My mom got money, but
your mom has what?
She got money, but that got nothing to do with me. But yeah.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with you. And what I'm showing is like, because when I asked you want to be married, it's kind of like, yeah, sure, one day. I was like, there's no sense of urgency for relationships. So if you don't get married, what does life look like for you? If you're an average middle class, mid PR, and I used to run an advertising PR firm, there ain't a lot of money in it for everybody. If we gave you a salary of $70,000
but I
a year.
feel like if you know the right people, you can get a job like in that.
Yeah, a job. And jobs don't make people rich.
Or a career in that field.
The average PR professional Average PR professional in Atlanta earns what? The average PR salary, 45 to 75, 36 to 63. I'll give you the high end, 70,000. 70,000 from age 35 to 65. That means you're going to be living at a $70,000 salary.
What about in California? Because
You're even more broke.
oh shit.
So, do you have an apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to live in an apartment for the rest of your life? You want a home. All right. What kind of car would you like to drive at 40?
I want like a Range Rover.
Oh, okay. And how much do Range Rovers cost?
Like 70?
Right. So you want a Range Rover that's 70 on the low end in a career field that pays middle income.
I just gotta marry rich then. Fuck it.
I need you to lean forward.
You go in on me?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Because I need you to understand how unintentionally insulting that is. Because your plan, because I've decided to, I need your money, sir. Okay, then what's he going to get for being rich? What's he going to get from you? What's he going to get for his money? That's fair. Right? I think that's fair. What's he getting? Huh?
A housewife. I don't know the correct answer because I don't know.
Well, the thing is, ma'am, you're not a housewife. You weren't raised to be a housewife.
No, I wasn't.
See, what your answer is, and you're being honest,
Yeah.
most women don't go through life thinking about these things because ultimately somebody will figure it out for me. And if that doesn't happen, I'll just find a man and he'll do it. So I need you black women to start walking through life like you need a black man. Because,
I do, black man.
okay, but where's your man?
Shit.
Where is he? So if you need him, why ain't your ass over at his house right now on your knees?
Doing what?
What you should be doing at 11 o'clock at night in Atlanta for a man you need.
Praying with him?
He's saying, oh my God. I don't know if he's praying.
Oh, wow.
I mean, seriously. I mean, we're adults, right?
Mm-hmm.
When was your last relationship?
Almost 4 years ago.
All right. So when I say you should be acting like a sense of urgency at 28 years old, you ain't sweat a relationship for 4 years when most women recognize I am not going to be a woman who is earning six figures or more, an attorney, a physician, engineer, even accounting and that kind of stuff. That's high five figures. So if you're not going to make that kind of money, you need a man. And most black women need a man, but y'all act like y'all are the last ones to need one. Matter of fact, you got songs talking about it.
I do. I will never say I don't need a man. I do.
All right, then where is he?
I don't know.
Intermission. Let's get this money up. Get these likes up.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el putín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve.
We're about to open the call line. Let's see what we got going on. Oh man, we don't even have the likes up over 1,000. Oh man, we got to get the likes way up.
Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo fue. Money work.
Oh, let me help this chick out.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
Bye.
Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me
Moderators.
ves solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un
Time out
interés.
any of
Un
these
buen humano para mí es un deber.
crazy people talking about the best from anything else.
Vendo mi alma, lo
None of that
lograré.
time. No time for
Seré
that.
el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Come on. Again, it's only a problem. It's only a problem if you're outspoken.
Se arregla con dinero. Corazón, de corazón.
He shouldn't be saying these kind of things. We've got right to reason to be angry and unhappy. It ain't our fault. Cool, ain't nobody said it was.
Money work.
Nobody gonna put up with it though. Especially not men who've had to work to get to the next level.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work.
Luna, how long you been in Atlanta?
Since August,
All right. How long was your last relationship, the one that ended 4 years ago?
like a year and a half.
Okay. If I had, and who ended it?
Him,
Why?
because I was working at a club in LA, and he looked through my phone and seen my messages of me texting like high-profile men, and he was like, "Why would
Or were
you?"
you texting them? See you when you get back to the club, or?
Yeah,
Right.
things like that, like booking tables and things like that. But I was like never cheating. But he's, I guess, I don't know. He was like, "Nah, not my bitch," and he was like,
Is that when he met you? Were you doing that job?
"No."
What were you doing when he met you?
I think I was waitressing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, due respect, I was a server, and it's not uncommon for attractive people to leverage their looks in service, but that runs out.
Yeah.
So, did he give you a chance to resolve this problem, or did you just bounce?
We were on, I think we broke up like 3 different times, but I didn't change. Like I was still, it was like quit your job, or I was like, I'm not going to quit my job.
Okay. What did he do for a living?
Doing it. I'm like, no. So
What did he do for a living?
he played football.
All right. Did he want to marry you?
I don't know.
Why did he want you to quit your job? How are you going to make money?
Hmm?
If you quit your job, how are you going to make money? So he just told you to quit your job and do nothing.
Or find a different job. He wanted me to
Okay.
go back to waitressing at a restaurant, which I make more money at a club.
Okay.
So I was like, no.
And did he play football for whom?
For the Rams.
All right. Let me ask you a hard question. In hindsight, would you have been better off quitting your job and staying with your man?
It depends. I feel like if I knew we were gonna last,
Yeah.
get married, then yeah.
Did you guys ever have that conversation?
No, that's why.
Did you make it a requirement that you wanted to get married before you start dating him?
No.
Then there you go, man. You ladies think that men are just supposed to marry you. And if you start dating somebody and you don't want to get married, he don't want to get married, y'all just hanging out.
Right.
So what I'm showing is no matter how we slice it, you've had opportunities. You've lived in places and you're just not, men are just fun for you at this point. All right. But what are you going to do when you drop off the wall and you hit 30 or really 35 and you can't be a waitress like you used to could be. You can't
Yeah.
get those tips. Then you're going to have to be like your mama and work your ass off because you're taking your youth and wasting it instead of saying, do I
That's
need a man in my life or do I want to do like a lot of modern women are marrying their friends or roommates or something? I'm just trying to get you to ask yourself these questions because our culture doesn't. And the net of it is you're another 28-year-old sister who has been sleepwalking through life about relationships, not the seriousness. And I've asked this question many ways. What do women owe their community? You owe the community families and relationships. So, has this given you anything new to think about?
yeah. Actually, it has.
All right, well, good.
Asking questions I really didn't have an answer to, so now I really got to think about it.
Well, I mean, the real question is, at the end of your life, do you want to be by yourself with your homegirl, with a dog, a cat, or do you actually want to be with do you want to have had a life with somebody, had some children, some memories? Because
married to a black. I said I want to be married to a black man, 2 kids, big house, someone with a big dick, and then I'm fine.
Well, all that big house and big dick. I mean, you're lucky if you get a black man.
I will get a black man.
1 in 4 black women will marry, and all the other stuff, man, is kind of silly. Let me tell you why. Because more black women divorce men because the sex ain't good enough, or his dick ain't good enough, or the house ain't big enough. All right, fine. The only person that's gonna hurt is you, or women that do that kind of stuff. You don't hear non-black women say, I need a guy with a house and a big dick. They need a 401k, they want a 401k and retirement plan and some benefits. Why do you need a big dick? I mean, seriously.
It was a joke, but no, for real.
But it's a joke in our culture but you need to understand what men hear when they hear that. That means what men hear is being a suitable provider and a solid man ain't good enough. I still got to give you a big house and have a big dick. So
when it comes to me, you can't just be like black women because my mom's Mexican and I was raised Hispanic culture with my dad just not around when I was younger.
You were Hispanic. You're culturally Hispanic?
Like my mom is full Mexican, so
growing up,
I wasn't around like.
You have any brothers?
Yeah, I do.
So, you have a brother who's older than you?
I have 1 older brother and then 2 younger brothers.
All right. So, at dinner time, did you serve them?
No.
Then you're not culturally Mexican.
My mom served them. That's their mom.
But see, that's your job.
As a sister?
Yes.
Really?
See? Yes. Your mother was supposed to be serving her husband, but she's not culturally Mexican either because she got multiple. You're supposed to. Okay, listen.
Her husband.
What do you think the young ladies in the family learned how to become a wife? The mother serves the father. The daughters serve the brothers. You serve them. I didn't make this stuff up. So when you say you're culturally Mexican, I'm like, you seem culturally black. I resonate with what you told me more than I would think somebody from Mexico would understand what you're talking about. And me telling you serving your brothers is like, what? Yeah, you serve yourself.
Heard of that?
Huh?
I honestly never heard that the sister has to serve their brothers.
Well, the women serve the men of the family.
My mom and my grandma would serve their husbands and then their
kids. But you are a woman. The females serve the males. So I mean, I've heard this because I've seen it. When I go over to my Hispanic friends, my Mexican, when I'm seeing the little girls when I'm seeing older girls serve their brothers, I'm seeing younger girls serve their brothers. I'm like, that's dope. That's how they learn to cooperate with a man. What do you think you're supposed to do? You're supposed to do that after he becomes your boyfriend, then your husband, then you'll serve him? Then why should he marry you if you got to have on-the-job training?
Well, I would serve my kids and my boyfriend or husband, but I don't know about my brother. That's new to me. I would for sure serve
But
my
it's
husband.
because you okay. Look, why not? I mean, they're men, right?
Yeah, I never thought of it though.
Well,
I wouldn't have a problem.
and I'll tell you one of the reasons you might not have thought about
Like
this.
if they asked me, I would do it, but I would never be like, hold on, let me fix your plate. Like, have a seat.
Well, let me tell you one of the reasons you may not, because women today don't have respect for men like they used to, because you're provided for and you're safe. But if you 1,000 years ago you were living in a village, or there was no police or fire, who were the only people to protect your safety at the home?
The men.
Your father and the other boys.
Mm-hmm.
So, in respect for the fact that they got to protect you, you serve them some bread because they got to die for you. See how we've broken down the whole nature of the family, how we've broken down the respect due for a woman to a man and a man to a woman, to where now relationships are really just romantic choice things versus necessity. Everything I've been talking to you about is necessity, not love, not romance. It's necessity. If you don't have enough money, you're going to either live with a woman or what? There's no more, the government can't fix it. You're going to live in a shoebox? Most women don't have it. That's why I'm trying to get people to understand the way you talk to women, because y'all need to be shocked into reality, because
No, I've
you're
seen
not a.
you're honest, you're fair.
Well,
Like
thank you. And
what
I
you
don't.
said.
I reflect what I get back, and I think many women today. I've seen the marketing that was done to women to get women to be a consumer class, and it's not malice, but when you're just walking around thinking, "I've got time. I'm young. I'm only 28. I got time." I mean, honestly, you're probably thinking that I got time. I mean, I'm not as young as I used to be, but I still got time. I mean, I graduate in December. And the presumption is when you're ready, all you got to do is turn around and go get a man off the high value tree. And you said a big house and a big dick. Well, let's get back to it. How many kids would you like to have?
2.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're married?
Do I want to have to work? No, but I will work.
What percentage of the financial family load do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime?
Like what parts I gotta pay for?
No, what percentage of the overall family financial load do you want to have to be responsible for? What percentage? Out of 100% of the family financial load, what do you want to have to do? Means if
40,
you don't do it, it doesn't happen.
35, 40.
35 or 40. That means you're going to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then understand that even if you did marry a man who can provide, you'll probably get 12 weeks off after you have your baby, and you got to put him in daycare. All these are very realistic things. But how much do you think your husband would have to make to provide for you, him, and 2 children?
A lot.
How much?
I don't know.
Ballpark it.
A few mil.
Annually?
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance to go ahead and be realistic.
100,000 a year. Is that realistic?
That's okay for one person. I just said earlier, man, unless you plan on making about 150,000, you're gonna need a husband. But now if you talk about you, a husband, you and 4 kids.
That's why my answers are kind of.
What?
These are all questions I haven't thought about.
Well, then how are you gonna find a suitable husband if you don't know what kind of lifestyle you want to have and about how much it's going to take for a man to provide that?
They usually all have like their own money. I don't know. I never thought about it.
And unfortunately, and I mean no disrespect.
And thank you. Now I do. Thank you.
But what I'm saying is, this is what men are. So people get mad at me when I sit around and judge women and rate women. Men want something for their money, and what you're hearing is you don't mean anything by it, but you haven't thought about what these men want, who they are, demographically, anything. It's just it's supposed to just happen. To take care of 2 kids in Atlanta, you're talking around about $250,000 a year. That's just to provide a decent middle class lifestyle for a wife that doesn't have to work. If you choose to work, but you still don't want to be responsible for half the load, and honestly, the way I'm reading you, you probably want to be responsible for less than 20%. That means some kind of home business or something, which is no insult, but you don't want the family to be at risk if you don't work. True or false?
True.
That means you want to be responsible for less than 20%.
Yeah, like if something happens to my husband, I want to be able to have that money to
If something happened to your husband,
like, to lose his job, and let's say for 4 months he don't have no money, I want to have enough money to be able to pay whatever has to be paid.
Yeah, but you could do that on 20%. But I'm talking about if you stop doing what you did, period, you lose the house.
Yeah.
At 40%, if you stop doing what you're doing, you lose everything. And what I'm trying to get people to understand is women have not been told to think about it. It's just like you really just think that the men will figure it out. And if that's the case, then you shouldn't have any problem being fit, feminine, cooperative, and submissive. Since we got to figure it out, we got to be the ones that have all these answers. Then if we say go right, you should be yes, sir. Can you honestly say that's how you are in a relationship?
Most of the time, yes.
But you just said you didn't quit a job that was problematic.
Because it didn't make sense to me. If you're not helping with any of my finances, why?
I get it. It was a different situation.
Yeah.
But now you got to think about it. Because now you're
what he say?
You're in the age I call the danger zone, 27 to 35. And the purpose of that is because women at that age, you need to focus like a laser on the outcomes you want in life and start making those things happen. Women need to get the major parts of their life together sooner than men. So this call should be a wake-up call and say, all right, I got to stop acting like I got all this time, because I start running out of options, especially childbearing options and things like that. And unless you have really have men in your life today that are actively considering you to be their wife, you can't say, I'll just get married. You got to think about the kind of lifestyle, the kind of man that can provide that, understand where they are, what they want from a woman, and then realize you got to compete with the women around him. And the higher up you go, the more you want, the more you're going to have to give. So, and I'll back all this up. If you plan on trying to go get this great PR career started, many times women find that they spend too much of their time focusing on this job and not enough time focusing on relationship, and then you have to work for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Now at least you may have some options. All right, have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That was, yeah, man, you can't many times we just let women honestly just think it'll happen. All right, next. So it's amazing. See, when women think that there are plenty of women, and it's like, no. If the last 2 women are anything to be judged by, they're a part of the dating pool.
Why do 4s think they deserve 9s? And since when did calling someone average become an insult? When did that happen? When did it happen that people who were average all of a sudden expected damn near perfection? Shout out to Rebecca Lynn Pope, the reason she no longer matchmakes for black women. And this is far more a thing. Yeah, black men have their fantasy also, but men are checked by the real world. I'm going to talk about male fantasy, this whole poly thing that guys in the middle class, $50,000 a year dudes talk about polyamorous relationships. You out of your freaking mind. You think that's going to happen the norm for average? No. We'll get into that later on this week, but this takes priority. Only because the way in which this woman wrote an entire comment wall at me like I did something to her. I'm invading your privacy, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm da, and how dare you, and I see why women don't, whoa, whoa, whoa. But normal, average, everyday people wanting 9s and 10s. See, the whole thing is the term 49er is linked to the San Francisco NFL football team, and it's also linked to an ever-growing amount of people, women in particular, who expect and demand near perfection, 9s and 10s, when they aren't that themselves. Let me go ahead and clear some things out. One of the reasons you get 49ers is, one, they used to be big. Why do you get 49ers? Well, because you used to have a woman who was overweight, and now she's lost weight or got in shape. You know, a woman that was a size 15 or size 16 who's now dressed size 4. Congratulations. You are a healthy weight for a female. You're just normal. Women used to be 120 pounds. That's not a Herculean feat, ma'am. That's just norm. You have no children. We were watching Love Jones the other day. And we were seeing Nia Long and all these other people in that movie, and you could see Nia Long's collarbones and her waist. The woman on there who was Nia Long's best friend, Lisa Nicole Carson, look her up. This was a really voluptuous black woman in the 90s. She was on the TV show Ally McBeal before she had her mental issues that came up that shortened her career. Lisa Nicole Carson would be considered on the thinner side today, from her waist on down. That was just 22 years ago. So let me get this straight. You can have a normal body, but that does not make you hotter. Just because you drop weight does not mean that your face is any better. That just means you've increased your chances, but you still look how you look. And that's okay. Your resume and your balance sheet only matters to men after you pass their attractiveness, their hotness. Men don't care about your career and the amount of money you make. And understand something. I said it last night on last night's broadcast. It's not like you're a high earning executive. You're an average earner. On the East Coast, all these things are public. In an NFL city, where the cost of living is higher than it is in Atlanta, Dallas, Houston. The amount of money women like you make in that city would translate to about half to maybe a third less. So you'd have to take a pay cut. Now, to take a pay cut, it would be an adjustment. Average looking, average earning, but then you want 9s and 10s. And see, the problem with these kind of women is, with women who think like this, is they look at men who would, in days gone by, would have been perfectly matched with them, but they look down on these guys. They want to try to use them, manipulate them, look over them, shun them. I'll let you listen. And just because a man will have sex with you does not mean he will marry you. Bottom line, ladies, hear me and hear me well. You need to look like his income lane. Your face needs to look like his income lane. The whole having a banging body has always existed. in hip hop street culture, it's called a butterface. She's got a banging body, but her face is trash. We've always had butter faces. Women used to understand that you had to compensate like men if you weren't born hitting the genetic lottery with your facial symmetry. Only now can you have people be out of shape, overweight, and then not be attractive, and then have a bad attitude and still think you should have a rich man. Nutsy. Let me also say another thing. Tattoos, for high value men, tattoos are garbage. They're garbage. High value men don't like tattoos on women, and big tattoos are trash. So let's get into it. Let's see. But before we get into this, guys, we need to get the likes up to over 800. And we're going to need to get let's see what we're doing as far as the donations and things like that. Because I want this to be understood. I don't want anybody to be rude. But I'm going to let this play. Let's get them up. Are we ready? Are we ready to go? And because I don't want to get any kind of and not that I could get a strike or flag. I'm trying to be reasonable. Trying to be reasonable. Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. Let's do it this way. If I play it here, look choppy. But you know what? I'll do it that way. I'll play it to where it won't look choppy. Okay? And ma'am, you're more than welcome to call in after the show if you like. But let's do this like this. Oh, hello.
Good morning. Good evening.
Hi. How old are you?
29.
All right. Are there enough women for relationships today?
No, I don't believe so.
What did you think when you first saw it?
I believe that the reason why is because most women are pregnant. Most women don't have a college education. They really don't want to accept the man kind of like below average.
Are you trying to get cussed out by the women up in here?
No, I'm not. Actually, I work hard and my life wasn't easy, but I make like $82,000 right now. I have my own business. I'm in college. I graduated in July. I for nursing, and I'm a medical assistant right now. I've been in a career for about 6 years, and I'm a model part time. So I mean, it wasn't easy to get where I'm at.
Do you want to be married?
Man is not gonna accept me.
Do you want to be married?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta turn that noise down. Do you want kids?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Ma'am, hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm fine, yourself?
Good, how old are you?
I'm 20, turning 21, a few months.
Cool. Okay, hold on this. I'm going to ask you the same question I just asked. Are there enough women for relationships today?
I believe there is, especially in my age group.
Okay. In your age group, you believe there is?
Yes.
Do you want to be married?
I do. I do aspire to be married.
Uh-huh. And what's the oldest man you've ever dated?
So I thought 25, but he lied about his age. He was actually approaching 35. So,
So if you want to be married, about what age do you think your husband will be?
well, my boyfriend currently now is 24. So we plan on getting married like around, he should be like 32.
32, 8 years from now?
Yeah. So I plan on having kids 5 years from now. So well, I want to have
Before
kids
you get
before
married?
marriage. I do, but if it doesn't work out that way, I'm going to have kids regardless.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Miss Eye Candy, I gotta come right back. Excuse me?
Yes.
Are you
So
trolling me? Hold on, hold on,
no,
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. You openly want to have children before you get married, and if you don't get married, fuck it, it's cool. I'm still gonna have babies.
so no, it's hard to choose a baby daddy nowadays. So if I
And it's
would
called the husband. That's what
a
it's called.
husband, you're absolutely right. But it's
But are
hard
you a
to
wife?
say it again.
Are you a wife?
I feel like I do wifely duties as a girlfriend.
Okay,
Yes.
but okay, ma'am. Let's back up. What do you do for a living?
Currently I am unemployed due to the natural disaster. What
How
that
you gonna
happened.
provide for them natural babies?
That's why I said 6 years from now, because I am looking to put myself through college and I want to go to school for psychology and all of that. So it's all a plan 6 years from now. And if I can't
I'm a
have
PhD.
a husband, if I can't have a husband 6 years from now, I still do want to have children because I don't want to wait until I'm in my 30s to have kids.
Are you trolling me?
No, not at all. It's just it's it's ways to have children nowadays without having a husband, which is sad, but there's a
No,
but,
what's sad is
there's
you
not
think
good.
this. What's just sad is you think this way.
Yes, because I've seen a lot of failed relationships or a lot of failed marriages. And
You've seen a lot of failures as women. That's yes.
why is that? Women are not in relationships by
Yeah,
themselves.
women. Listen, because 80% of the time when a relationship ends, a woman is the one walking out the door.
That is highly
That
true, especially in my case.
that's failing at a relationship. When a relationship fails, and if 8 out of 10 times somebody's leaving, you say that's the failure. They quit. And even what you talk about right now, you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out the door. I'm going to have babies regardless. So a man can or cannot be there. So you're openly just saying, I'll choose to be a baby mama, and I'll choose to try to live life uh, instead of cooperating with a man. I'll go get a psychology degree and then live a middle class life, working paycheck to paycheck or so. But I do that
That's
instead
not
of learning how to
that's not
cohabitate.
that's not the that's not what my goal is. My goal is to have a happy home with a husband and
But that ain't
my
what you said. Okay,
until like
maybe that may be what the Disney dream. But you just said in a few years I'm gonna have babies whether I'm married or not.
I don't want to wait until I'm in my 30s to have children, because that a lot of women do have to wait until they're in their 30s.
No, you
Because
need to wait till you're a wife. See, the problem is, and if I can just be directly honest with you, what you're talking about is extremely selfish.
not many men want to marry. Like you
Listen, no, that's
said.
bullshit. That's bullshit. 51% of black men are single and childless, 64% of middle class. Men today want to be married more than y'all. Here's the problem. Most women today aren't fit to be wives. And this may
What's
sting a little bit, man, but listen, I need you to listen to what I'm about to say because I'll let you speak. You're worried about having a kid. Why don't you focus on becoming a woman worthy of marrying? Instead of talking about the men aren't there, all you need is be worthy of being married by one. Instead of already got your backup plan, well, since
yeah,
most men don't want to marry, you're creating your own reality to justify being a baby mama.
that is true. Speaking things into existence, I do believe in that, and that is something I know I need to work on.
So
I just
if you have a daughter, you're gonna tell her, yeah, go ahead and have babies outside of it. Go ahead and have babies, whether you're married or not.
no, not of course not. I'm always going to tell her it's way easier when you have both of the parents in your life and two incomes and a source of home. It's way easier that way
So what
than
do you want to do with your degree in psychology?
I want to talk to. At first, I wanted to talk to inmates, people who suffer from the differentiation from right and wrong. Like to kill somebody is obviously wrong, and to do things to children is obviously wrong. Then the type of people I
So
want to.
you want to be a therapist?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
In the criminal justice field. But I kind of
Hold
moved.
on, hold on. Any therapist worth their salt will talk about major reason people end up in the criminal justice system is problems at home. Coming from that one-parent household that you're so quickly talking about is a
I
major
had
fetus.
both of my
Nope, ma'am, I'll
parents.
let you go. Let me finish. Is a major feeder system. I'm not saying your point is I want to have kids and I don't want to wait. The only reason you got to wait is if you don't have a husband.
True.
And the
True,
only
because I
reason you
don't
won't
want
have
to
a
have
husband,
kids with somebody I know that's going to walk out on me. I know, boyfriends, something that I
80%
was
of men
trained.
don't leave. You guys leave. Women are, see, that's why I call y'all home wreckers. You wreck your own homes. When do you, out of 100% of relationships, what percentage of time are men the ones that are leaving?
I can't give you that answer because I don't
Guess.
know.
Guess.
Out of 100%, I would probably say 40%.
Ma'am, we have divorce stats that will show you that 80% of the time in our community, black women are the ones filing.
9 times out of 10, that black woman health was at
See,
risk.
accountability is like kryptonite, folks. Again, when I just showed her that the 8 out of 10 times a relationship or marriage in our community leads is not 40% men, it's 20% men. Instead of saying, "Damn, I didn't know that high," she's gonna still find a way to make the men's fault.
I'm not making it the man's fault. I didn't know it was that high.
Accountability. Well,
Didn't
but
give
what
me
I
that
did. Okay,
answer.
do you believe that? Do you believe that when divorce is filed in our community, 8 out of 10 times it's the woman filing?
Absolutely.
Then you know what the number one cause of divorce is?
You're going to say women?
People filing for divorce.
Okay.
There's a reason your grandmothers and great grandmothers and folks were married for 30, 40, 50 years because they weren't so quick to leave or find a reason. See, this is a perfect phone call because you're a young woman and you are indicative of our cultural programming. You're already priming yourself to be a baby mama because the stuff that you believe that I don't know if you've seen it, but it doesn't happen to the frequency to which people act like it happens in our
Yeah.
culture.
Right. Absolutely believe you. I thought I was rich when I was a kid. I didn't know that I was middle class because my mother was a single mother and she always made things happen. So I always thought we were rich
Do you
because
know your
I was
father?
privileged. Yes, my father was a provider, big provider, but my mother was the disciplinary parent. So that is who I say raised me because everything I know in this world I learned from her.
Were your mother and father married?
No, they bought a home together.
How many
They did
kids did
not
your
go
father
to the
have?
marriage. Say it again.
How many kids did your father have?
Well, so
How many children did your mother have?
my mother has 6 kids.
By how many men?
4.
So your mother was a disciplinarian. Your mother was the chaotic one.
One of her baby fathers were in prison, and she didn't make that choice on a good choice when she was young. And then my father, he took care of my 3 older sisters. That
Have
is
you had any
my
therapy?
sister's fathers. Say it again.
Have you had any therapy?
Yes.
Are you still currently in it?
No, I know. I just said I needed it because I have a lot
Yeah.
of unresolved.
Okay, but you don't need to be having anybody's children until you get your head clear.
Absolutely,
Because
6 years from now.
but you can't put a clock on that.
I'm not.
You can't put a clock on that.
But if I know that if 2 years from now, I don't feel like I'm going to be financially stable to take care of 2, and I feel like in 4 years I'll be better in the process to do that because I don't want to have children.
And if you're not,
I won't have children. It's like I don't want to have children out of wedlock, but I want children. So
why?
I want to raise somebody, and I know that's the only thing that I can leave in this world is my 50%.
So, go ahead. Why women choose marriage? Why women choose motherhood over marriage?
That's your next. That's gonna be your next topic.
No. Promises I Can Keep. There's a book that you should read called Promises I Can Keep.
Promise by who?
I'm going to tell you, Promises I Can Keep. Promises I Can Keep. Why poor women put motherhood before before marriage. Because it's the one thing that a poor woman can control. You can't control. The premise of this book is the love you didn't get, you can get it unconditionally from your kids. It's a thing about being poor. Promises I Can Keep. There's a lot of good stuff in there. I'm not going to belabor you. But look, knowing that your mother has 6 kids by 4 men, knowing you've had things in your mind, and the fact that you were just so hell-bent on, I'm going to have kids, because that's my legacy. Kids are not dolls. They're not pets. They're not possessions.
Absolutely not.
What you're talking about is having somebody for your selfish reason versus their sentient life.
If I said I wanted to raise a person,
listen, please. A child deserves a fair shot. That means a mother and father in a relationship where the child was planned and given the best start. Not something like you're talking about, a person who knows they have issues. And I'm still going to say in a few years, before I don't want to wait till I'm old. That's what's in this book. Women choosing motherhood over marriage. And who gets doomed is the kids in that result. Because there's one thing about maintaining a child. That's food, water, shelter, clothing. And then there's another thing about raising. Do you think you could really raise children on your own into healthy, functioning, productive citizens?
Not at all. Not at
Then
all.
why would you say I will still have them if I'm not married?
Because I wouldn't necessarily be doing it alone. I grew up in a family where everyone puts in, and I understand that that's not the family's responsibility or obligation. I prefer to
What I
have
need my critics to understand is these are the women that men are picking from. That's what I need my critics to understand. This is the mindset of the women that the men have to pick from. They think that they got to pick. Ma'am, you're not fit. Your thought process isn't even fit. The fact that you're saying it's not ideal, but I'll have a blended family. That is a choice that you are sitting down and saying, I am going to logically make. Instead of being married, I want to have a kid so bad that I will spread the rearing and raising and nurturing of this child over my relatives and my friends. That's freaking insane.
Not at all. That's not at all what I was saying. Like that. That's
Then
not.
if you're not married, if you're not going to be married, who's going to help you raise a child?
I'm stuck. I don't.
They stuck with the truth, so say it. Who's going to help you?
Nobody.
Then who are you talking about?
If you feel like it's if you refer to my family helping as a burden, then I would say nobody.
Okay, your family and the family. Are we talking about women?
I have 2 older brothers. Yeah, no, actually, I have 1 younger brother. He's just super tall, and a bigger older brother who has 2 daughters of his own.
Is he married?
Sadly, no. He was engaged, but it didn't work out.
No, I don't think this makes any sense at all to say I'm going to go have children and have my brother help me raise them.
I'm not gonna. That's not what the
Your
goal
husband.
is. My
Okay.
goal is that
Why
I have
are
a
you
husband.
okay, ma'am? Why are you hell bent on having kids outside of wedlock?
I'm not hell bent on that. I
So if you
prefer.
don't get married, are you saying you will never have children?
That is what it will happen if I know that I really can't provide for my children mentally and financially. Then
That's not what you said when you first came through the door.
no, I said I would have children I've thought about all of that. I said that I wouldn't have children at one point in time if I couldn't have a husband. And then I also was like, no, because I want to have a child.
Man, I don't believe you. I believe you realize this is sounding crazy. I believe that what you said when you first came through the door is the truth. In a few years, you're gonna be somebody's baby mama.
Because I can easily adopt.
Adopting is no different. You still have no.
It's more likely for adoption that they want the mother and the father. I understand that. But if life turns out to where a man
Ladies and
doesn't
gentlemen,
find me
understand that
easily in
men
life,
want peace. Men want cooperation and peace, and it is almost impossible to get peace from a chaotic mind.
Oh, yeah, right. Left turn.
That's what I need you guys to understand. Chaos. Women need to be a place of peace. And there's no peace in this chaos. That doesn't make you a bad person, man. But the fact is, I truly hope you do not go make a baby without being married.
I believe that too. I strongly believe that because I watched how it was for my mom to do it by herself. I understand the heartache and the struggles and the decisions she made that affected her children. I understand that. I also understand that if I don't, by the time I'm 35, it's unlikely that I'm going to be able to have a child in the snap of like that from off of one interaction with a man. It's very unlikely. So if I don't like to say find a husband. I'd rather a husband find me. Cause I don't believe myself, as you can see. I've altered my thoughts on whether I would have a child out of wedlock or if I would have a child out of wedlock. I didn't want to lose my virginity until I was married, but being a young adult, I wasn't an adult, a teenager, being a teenager, I was very, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but influenced, and I don't know. I wanted to wait till marriage, and that's not how it happened. So at the end of the day, I know if I don't get married, then my other option is to never have children, and that's unfair, I feel, to me.
Why?
Because I never was able to find a man that felt like I was fit for a wife. So now I can't have children. I don't know, but there's a lot of men out here that will lay their seed in a woman without wanting to marry. So I'm not saying that that's what I would do, but at the end of the day, that
Holy
is
shit.
very much so true. You have lots of men who will lay down with women. I don't think he can hear me. But a lot of men lay down with women and make children regardless, just as much as a woman does. It takes two to make a child. Women do not have these children on their own. And a lot of times, men are the ones to leave after they have children out of wedlock. Women don't get to leave their children. We do in some cases, but I believe I'm pretty sure you know the statistics. I'm pretty sure men leave more often after the woman has a child.
When was the last time you were in therapy?
My senior year in high school.
How long ago was that?
How old am I now? I'm turning 21. 5 years ago, going on 5 years. I can't count. I'm sorry, I can't count. 2 to 3 years.
Okay. I think it would be good to revisit that.
Therapy, absolutely. I have a lot of unresolved issues, but do you have children of your own?
You know, talk about me.
I
do. And the point of the matter is, see, I wanted a lot of children too, but I put aside what I wanted for what was best.
Which was to find a woman that was fit.
Which is because if I'm not going to have them in my household, I'm not going to make them just because I want them. I wanted a big family. I got one.
Oh, wow. I thought
I decided, since you asked me, if I can't raise them the way I want to raise them in my home, then I won't have them, because having a baby ain't about me. It's about them. And
in the
what you're
sense
saying, and what you're
of,
saying is ultimately, hey, other people do this and do that. All right. But once that child is here, man, this all stops being theory. And because you said some really troubling things that I'll find somebody who will give me a baby.
no, that is
You
not what I
said there are plenty of
a
men
lot
who are willing to lay their seed in a woman.
of that is
What
my points
what's
when
the
I
implication?
say it again.
What's the implication of that?
So women don't have children out of
What's the
wedlock.
implication of saying that there are plenty? If I haven't found a man to be a wife, if I haven't found a man to be a wife to, and I can't get married, that means I can't have kids. How is that fair? I didn't say it was fair. You think that's fair to me? I said "No, I don't care if it's fair. You said, well, that doesn't have to happen because there are plenty of men who are around here who are willing to lay their seed in a woman.
No, I wasn't saying that in reference to that. I wasn't saying that. That was not what I was saying to reference. I said something about adopting.
That was before, but saying that men are loose with their seed means what?
That women don't have children out of wedlock by themselves. There's men who
That's
knowingly
that's
who
bullshit.
men knowingly nutting women knowing that
No, that's bullshit. That's
how
bullshit. Women decide, you know, if a baby is born, a woman decided to bring that baby to terms. Nope, I'm sorry. There are 30
like
plus forms of nope, I've let you talk. I'm not gonna let that bullshit slide. There are more than 33 forms of birth control for women, plus you have options afterwards. If a baby is born, it's because a woman chose to bring a child to term. Now, the end result is we're talking about you. And ma'am, I'm just going to be honest. The woman I'm talking to today, it has a chaotic mind. And a chaotic mind doesn't parent well.
6 years from now, I'm not going to have the same mindset that I have six. I know as an adult that what I thought 5 years ago, I do not think now. I did not think as of right now. So 6 years from now, I believe that my maturity and my knowledge will be way stronger in a way where I can raise a child with a man. But if that man isn't there, then I'm not to have children. And that makes sense to me because it is selfish to raise a child without a man.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just seen what the men have to pick from. You've just seen an unfortunate but very accurate depiction of what so many men in this toxic sector of crybabies and people with mama issues and gay and everything else have been saying for the longest. Rarely do I have nothing else to add.
In this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me. No, 'cause I'm addicted to the good life.